Proteus Leadership proudly presents the Let's Go, Let's Grow podcast with Des Penny, co-CEO and founder of Proteus Leadership.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Let's Go, Let's Grow podcast. I'm Des Penny, and today I want to talk about how we can move our lives from good to exceptional. Now, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with our current lives. It just means that we have the privilege of being even better than we are. Over the past few years, I've had the honour of speaking to thousands of leaders across Australia on the importance of living an exceptional life. And it's a topic that's very close to my heart because I believe the changes that are happening around us will demand nothing less than exceptional in the future. And if we're not prepared to be exceptional, we'll be replaced, or as I discussed in a previous podcast, become less than we could be, or even irrelevant. Bregman, the author of the book 18 Minutes, says this: "The world changes, we change, faster than we tend to notice. To maximise your potential, you need to peer through the expectations that limit you and your choices. You need to see the world as it is, and yourself as you are." What a powerful statement that is. But to be able to do that, we must first understand what is happening around us. So here's my take as to why people and businesses are struggling at the moment in this crazy marketplace, apart from the standard economic reasons. I simply don't believe people and their thinking are changing at the same pace as technology and business requirements are right now. The way we work has changed, and albeit that people are happy with the new arrangements, I think we are blurring the lines even more around work-life balance, and we're now encouraging a culture of minimal interaction and connection with others as we move to work more in isolation from each other. Sure, there are some seemingly immediate benefits for some people, but I believe in years to come this will have massive social outcomes, and that won't all be positive, both for individuals and businesses. It's like two worlds colliding right now, a world of the past that has brought us to where we are today, and a world of the future asking something completely different of us. But do we truly understand what it is asking of us and where we fit within it? Unfortunately, the world of today is leaving many with an entitlement mentality, and it's removing our sense of purpose, and it just cannot survive in the future like this. And this means that the gap between those that are succeeding and doing innovative things and those that are living happily with what they currently have and who they are is getting wider. And somehow we need to bring those two worlds back into harmony and find balance. As the author Jack Collis says in his book with the same title, we must innovate or die. I love to speak to groups and individuals about reinvention, which is really the same thing. However, reinvention starts with us and will only ever be successful when we recognise the need for change, get excited about it, and then make it happen. Just recently I was thinking about this for my own life and business and came up with the following quote: "Life works with the material you give it. So if the material is shoddy, then so is the finished product. But that doesn't mean that you can't knock it down and rebuild something amazing at any time. You just have to want to." And this was challenging for me because I had to ask myself this question: was my material, me, fit to build a new structure that would survive and prosper in this very different present and an even more different future? So when was the last time you stopped and reinvented who you are and what you do? Because we will not be exceptional unless we learn how to continually reinvent. And unfortunately, like many others, I found this out the hard way by not taking control sooner. So what does exceptional mean? Well, the dictionary describes it as outstanding, unusual, extraordinary, or incomparable. But here's my definition. I think exceptional is a display through our behaviour of the inner qualities that we have taken the time to develop. And the key thing here is that it's about qualities, not skills or intelligence. And until we're prepared to work on who we are and our qualities, then we'll continue to struggle with being exceptional. And the interesting thing here is that neither of these definitions describes exceptional as being perfect. Because exceptional people are flawed. They make mistakes and they make wrong decisions. But the difference is that they understand their purpose and also strive to make a situation and themselves better. They learn from their mistakes and they never give up. What really staggers me today is how many people do not understand their purpose, or, as it's often referred to, their why. And your why is not always about being something or someone you are not. It's just about being you and doing that to the very best of your ability. Your why will be different to everyone else. Not only is that okay, but it's awesome because we are unique. And because when we try to be someone we're not, that's when we tend to revert to blame, and people who blame will simply never be exceptional. And exceptional people know their why because that's their launch pad to everything they do. And I cannot even explain to you how liberating it is to truly know and live your purpose and your why. It's important to understand, though, that exceptional will mean something different to every individual and every business. And there is no one size that fits all. However, I do believe that there are characteristics that exceptional people display. And I also believe exceptional can and should be measured. You know, whenever we talk about measuring people, we get into that objective-subjective argument. The fact is that all people management tools have some degree of subjectivity. And that's good, because people are not robots. People are complex, involved, and incredibly interesting creatures. And measuring people is simply a way of organising your thoughts, feelings, and observations and creating a picture. And once you create this picture against clear expectations, then you can make the decisions you need to make to move forward. And one of the main reasons we need to measure ourselves is so that we're truly honest about where we're at and where we need to be. We are unique, and every one of us has the ability, if we have the desire, to be exceptional. So, I want to share with you 10 measures that I think identify exceptional people. And you may have a very different list, but I hope this list helps you. My first measure number 1, is exceptional people display passion and enthusiasm. But it's important to understand that passion's not a starting point. It's something that grows, and often through tough times. But many people confuse being interested in something as being passionate. Then 6 months later, when things get difficult, they lose their passion. And that's because it probably wasn't passion in the first place. It's so easy to say that we are passionate about something, but don't confuse interest with passion, because passion isn't there at the beginning. It only happens when we begin to do something and see its worth. So, exceptional people understand that passion grows when they put the effort in. Measure number 2, exceptional people demonstrate attention to detail. Now, attention to detail is not necessarily about spreadsheets or even over governance. It's about seeing and dealing with the small things that make a huge difference. In fact, attention to detail can be directly associated with our level of care. So exceptional people see the little things and act on them. They don't take shortcuts. Measure number 3, exceptional people are long-term and big-picture people. You know, so many people believe that they're big-picture people, but do not understand that real big-picture people have more than just ideas. They live their ideas and make them a reality. I spoke about this in a previous podcast, getting your ducks in a row. Check it out, have a listen. So, exceptional people develop strategy to go with their ideas, and they then live the journey and not leave it to others. Measure number 4, exceptional people have a pain and celebration mentality. They feel the pain of non-achievement and also understand the joy of celebrating achievement. They understand that pain will come, and in fact it's necessary, but they also understand the privilege of leadership and celebrate their own successes and the successes of others. So exceptional people put their head, their heart and their gut into what they do, no matter how much it might hurt, because the result is more important. Measure number 5, exceptional people do what they say they'll do. There's a great saying that says, your I can is more important than your IQ. And so often we work with gunner people who are always gonna do something, but always have a reason why they did not deliver. And we spend most of our time chasing them, and in fact, they actually create more work for you. So exceptional people not only deliver, but they take pride in completing a task. Measure number 6, exceptional people have innovation thinking as part of their DNA. And innovation thinking is very different than creative thinking. Innovation thinkers have great ideas, but they keep their feet on the ground and implement those ideas as well. They're solution focused. They combine their ideas with suggestions and actions on how things can be achieved. So, exceptional people are constantly looking for new and better ways, but they also want to be part of making them happen. Measure number 7, exceptional people take ownership. Now, if you're driving, don't do this little activity, but if you're not, grab a pen and a paper and draw 2 circles that interconnect. And this is where accountability and responsibility meet in that interconnecting piece. And when they meet, then entitlement disappears and ownership becomes the norm. So one circle is responsibility, one circle is accountability, and where they meet becomes ownership. And when ownership happens, that's when we become fully engaged. So exceptional people take responsibility and they're also accountable. They own who they are and what they do. Measure number 8, exceptional people accept and act on feedback. It's not only important to be able to accept feedback, but we must also be aware enough to process it and do something about it. And one of the characteristics of great leaders is to be teachable and to have a servant heart. And this comes from being open to feedback from others. But they also know when feedback is simply criticism and should be processed via the bin. They don't allow the 1% of negativity to define and rule them. So exceptional people understand the difference between feedback and negativity and process it accordingly. Measure number 9, exceptional people lead by example. Robin Sharma wrote a book called Leader Without a Title, where he outlined the concept that everyone's a leader and leaders are people that others want to follow. And people who lead by example don't ask others to do what they're not prepared to do themselves, and their behaviour is noticed by others without having to be stated. Gandhi said we must become the change we wish to see, and this is what exceptional leaders do. They become the change, and others then want to follow them. Our last measure, measure number 10, exceptional people live and lead with insight. For me, this is probably the missing link in leadership today. We have many educated and intelligent people in senior roles, but insight is lacking. So, what is insight? Well, insight is the ability to step back and see what is really happening in a situation rather than just reacting to the obvious. And despite what some people may think, insight doesn't just come with experience. It's hard work and it requires a high degree of care, combined with a desire to find a better way. So exceptional people live and they lead with insight and they just know what to do. So there you have it, my 10 measures, but you need to create your own. Sit down and ask yourself what exceptional would look like to you, and then step by step work towards that picture by developing and working on the qualities required to be exceptional. Again, the great author Robin Sharma says, make your life matter, be of use, serve as many people as possible. This is how each of us can shift from the ordinary into the extraordinary and walk amongst the best that ever lived. Remember, if we don't strive to be exceptional in everything we do, then we will be replaced. These are not my rules, they are the rules of life and the rules around how we can live and do business in the future. But the great thing is that we have the ability to make the choices as to whether we want to bring our two worlds together in harmony or whether we're satisfied with those two worlds constantly colliding. So I wish you every success in discovering what exceptional looks like for you and your organisation, and watching every one of you take that leap from good to exceptional. You've been listening to the Let's Go, Let's Grow podcast. I'm Des Penny, thanking you for listening, and I encourage you to sign up on your favourite podcast platform so that you can enjoy further episodes as they drop. If you've enjoyed this podcast, then feel free to leave a review on your chosen podcast app.